All right, what up, fourth period? I'm sitting right in our same classroom making this video. Normally I'm at the house, but as you can see, still in the senior night fit. And I'm about to crush some notes here. So look, I know it could be easy to tune me out or fast forward, but seriously, I'm taking the time to make this video. I'm going to do my best to teach it in a way that makes sense. I'm going to move quickly, but here's why. Because it's a video and you can pause and watch it again. And then tomorrow when you come to class, we'll have a chance to practice, okay? But these are things that we need to learn these first 2 days. And so I'm going to dive in. And remember, keep track of 2 things that you learned from this video and 1 question that you still have. And then send me a message on campus after you're done, okay? Please watch the whole thing, though, because you're going to want to tomorrow coming in to practice. Okay, so the standard form of a quadratic equation is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. The a is just a number, the b is just a number, the c is just a number. Okay. When the a value tells us a lot about the parabola, believe it or not. Okay, if the a value is greater than 0, that's just a fancy way to say if it's positive. If the a value is positive, then the parabola opens up like a cup. When the a value is less than 0, which just means it's negative, then the parabola opens down like a frown. So if you're trying to find which way the parabola opens, you need to look for the squared term. So like if I said something like this, -6 plus x squared, and I said, does this parabola open up or down? What would you tell me? You might say, well, Smith, that's a -6, so it goes down. No. The only thing that matters is the squared term. And that is a positive squared term, which means it's opening up. Okay? Now, let's talk about the vertex. I'm going to be focusing on this. This is the key to this lesson. How do you find the vertex algebraically? Well, the vertex is just a point. So there's an x-coordinate and there's a y-coordinate. The way that you find the x-coordinate is you do b divided by -2a. You might be saying, what the heck is b? What the heck is a? Remember, a is the number in front of the squared term, the coefficient in front of the squared term. The b is the number in front of the x, or the coefficient in front of the x. And then the c is just the constant term. So to find a vertex, all we do is we say, okay, whatever the b value is, divided by -2 times a. That is how you find the x-coordinate of the vertex. And once you know the x-coordinate, let's say that we did that math and the x-coordinate was, say, 1. Then you plug in the x-coordinate back into the equation and it will spit out your y value. Kind of like what we did, I think it was this class. No, that was pre-calculus, so no worries. We'll practice this in a second. But once you find your x value, you plug it back into the equation to get the y value. Okay? Let's actually practice that right now. Let's use an example down here. -x squared plus 4x plus 2. So y equals -x squared plus 4x plus 2. Okay, check this out. We need to find the vertex, we need to find the axis of symmetry, and we need to find the y-intercept. The same things we found today in class. But we don't have the graph. Today in class we had the graph, now we don't. So we have to use algebra. So the formula for the vertex is you put b, which honestly, let's go ahead and label these. This is great. You should label this every time. The a value is -1. The b value is 4. And the c value is 2. Once you have these labeled, you're set, and you can just keep referring back to it. So what is b divided by -2a? Well, b is 4 divided by -2 times a, which is -1. So what is 4 divided by What's negative 2 times negative 1? That's positive 2. What's 4 divided by 2? Well, that's just 2. So the first coordinate of the vertex is 2. We just did this little math off to the side, and we found that the vertex is at 2 comma something. How do we find that something? How do we find the y that goes with it? Well, we plug this 2 right here back into the equation, and we simplify. So let's see what it would get. What's 2 to the second power? That's 4. So it's negative 4 plus, what's 4 times 2? 8 plus 2. So negative 4 plus 8 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. So the y value is 6. So the vertex for this graph is 2 comma 6 according to our algebra. Let's go check it. Negative x squared plus 4x plus 2. Negative x squared plus 4x plus 2 is our vertex. There it is, 2, 6. The vertex is at 2, 6. That's what our algebra told us, 2, 6, right here. We didn't even need to look at the graph for it. Okay? So we know the vertex. Axis of symmetry is always just x equals the x value of the vertex. Remember, it's a vertical line. Be a vertical line straight through the vertex. X equals 2. And then the y-intercept, look where it is on our graph. It's at 0 comma 2. Look at our equation. You ready for this? The y-intercept is actually the easiest thing to find. The y-intercept of a parabola, of a quadratic, is just the constant. Whatever the constant is, that is your y-intercept. So in this case, the y-intercept is 0, 2. Let's go back and check. 0, 2. That's the y-intercept. How do you know that, Smith? How is that always true? Because look what the x is. For a y-intercept, the x is always 0. And if you plugged a 0 back into your equation, 0 squared is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. What's all that's left? Just the constant. Okay, so the y-intercept is always the constant. And the way you find your vertex, you can go back and watch that process again, is this. The way you find the vertex is you do b divided by negative 2 times a. To get your x, plug it in to get your y. Okay, that's the halfway point of the video. Finding the vertex, finding the y-intercept, finding the axis of symmetry. Okay? So now let's go see some of these questions. Oh, it's just wanting us to practice. Okay? Determine if the graph will open up or down. You just look at this value. It's negative, so it's going to be going down. Find the axis of symmetry. Well, that comes from the vertex. Oh, we already did all these things for this example 1. We need to do example 2. All right, boom. Okay? What's our equation? Right here. Y equals 3x squared minus 12x plus 10. Okay, if I lost you right now, look, I'm drinking some caffeine, V8 Energy. Go get you a snack or something. Wake up. Because here we're locking in right here. All right? First things first, does this graph open up or down? That's important. Well, first things first, is this even a quadratic? Let's make sure we're not graphing a line. What's the giveaway that this is a quadratic? It's that right there. That squared term, we know it's a quadratic. Okay, so we know it's a quadratic. Is it opening up or down? Is it going to be going this way, or is it going to be going this way? That's the next thing we got to answer. And looking at this, it is a positive 3. So since it is a positive 3, it's going to be a positive graph. So it's opening up. So now let's go find the vertex. That's the key point. Everything is built off of the vertex. So how do we find it? We do the B. Oh, let's label. I told you to label. A is 3. B is negative 12. C is 10. Okay, we label that so that now, look how easy this is. How do you find the vertex? This is what you got to remember, gang. If you have to memorize one thing from tonight, it's that it's B divided by negative 2A. That's something that I'm just not going to be able to help you with. You just got to remember that. You can do it. It's 3 letters, okay? Let's try to come up with an acronym for that. Like maybe the bear like threw up 2 apples or something. Maybe that's how we remember it. That's stupid, but it's the first thing that popped into my head. Okay, the bear, why do you and get it? He threw up, so -2. He didn't eat 2 apples. He threw up 2 apples. Therefore he lost 2. Anyways, let's find it. So we take the B value, which is negative 12. We divide that by negative 2 times A. A is 3. So what is 12 divided by negative 6? Hey, another 2. Lucky. So the vertex is 2 comma something. How do we get that something? We take the 2, we plug it in right here, we plug it in right here. You can use a calculator for this, by the way. I'm going to do it in my head, but I want you to use calculators in this class. I'm not afraid of calculators. As long as you show your work, I'm fine. So we put a 2 right there. 2 squared is 4. And 4 times 3 is 12. So we have 12. Minus, what's 12 times 2? That's 24. Plus a 10. Again, your calculator would do this for you, but that's going to be negative 12 plus 10, negative 2. So the vertex is 2 comma negative 2. I like to check my work. I encourage you to as well. Let's go and see. Ooh, just cracked my neck. Let's go and see if the vertex is 2, negative 2. 3x squared minus 12x plus 10. 3x squared minus 12x plus 10. Is that 2, negative 2? And what did we say it was going to be? 2, negative 2? Booyah! Okay, we got it. We got the vertex. So let's go ahead and graph it. 2, negative 2. Boom. Axis of symmetry cuts the parabola in half. Boom. That's my axis of symmetry. There's my vertex. So vertex is that. The axis of symmetry is x equals 2. It's always an x equals equation. So now all we need left is the y-intercept. Y-intercept. Smith, I forgot how to find y-intercept. Well, let's go back up to our notes that you've been hopefully taking while you've been doing this. And remember what we said about y-intercept? The y-intercept is just 0 comma c. The y-intercept is just chilling right there. It's the c value. So what is our y-intercept down here? 0 comma 10. It crosses the x-axis, the y-axis. This is our y-intercept at 0, 10. Is that true? That's pretty high. Let me go check. Ooh, look at that. Boom. 0, 10. Vertex is at 2, negative 2. It's even got a couple x-intercepts that we're not going to talk about until next week, but they're there. Okay? Which means I'm guessing this point must be 2, 10. If this is 0, 10, or this must be 4, 10, is it? Boom. Because you can just reflect it over the axis of symmetry. Booyah, okay? So we know that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be way up here. Sorry, it's going to be off the graph. So then we can reflect it off the graph, and we have this. Boom. Vertex, 2, negative 2. Axis of symmetry, x equals 2. Y-intercept, 10. That's everything. I encourage you to practice this one on your own. Notice there's no b value, so it's y equals 2x squared minus 4. So you have an a value and you have a c value, but the b value is just 0. That's okay if that happens sometimes. So try this graph, but with a b value of 0. And then that's it. You're ready for tomorrow. You're ready to graph quadratics. I'm hyped for senior night. I apologize. Don't forget to send me that on-campus message. 2 things you learned, 1 question you still have.